7 young people killing themselves all in 1 year, all from the very same small town. A 20-year-old girl hanged herself last week. She is the latest victim. There are the pictures of all of them. Police are now looking into websites. Were there websites that these kids were on that actually encouraged them to kill themselves? Dr. Buzz von Ornsteiner is a psychologist and is well-versed in this topic. Doctor, what kind of websites are we talking about here that would actually encourage them? And I should point out, some of these kids knew each other, some of them did not, but investigators say they all seem to be linked potentially by 1 or 2 of these websites.
The problem is when we're depressed and when young people are depressed, they may not feel comfortable talking to an adult. They may not feel comfortable talking to a parent. So they seek out like-minded people like themselves. We all have a need to belong. So we're depressed and we're seeking out like-minded people who are also depressed. On these websites, these people are engaging in chat lines, but they're both depressed individuals. Their perception is skewed. So indirectly, they may not be intentionally leading these individuals to suicide, but they're depressed also. So it's like a downward spiral. Talking to someone who's depressed, you're also going to face maybe more depression, and that may lead to self-destructive behavior. So we got to be very careful of that.
And it all just kind of gets exaggerated. I mean, there's a difference between a disgruntled teenager who's bummed out about what's going on at home or at school, right?
Absolutely. When we're depressed, we tend to be sometimes hypersensitive to rejection. We tend to be going through a sense that we don't belong. We're emotionally depressed, and that skews our perception. So you're seeking out another person who's depressed on these chat lines. And first and foremost, these chat lines should never be thought of as a support group. They're not a support group. You're interacting with other people that you don't know. Internet should not take the place of face-to-face contact. We all have a need to belong. We all have a need to have control and power within our lives, but we need to be with other people face-to-face. Unfortunately, when we're in isolated communities, we don't have the resources, and we're lonely. We go to the internet to seek people, to seek a sense of belonging. We all do it. I probably spend too much time on the internet also. But I'm not seeking solutions, and I'm certainly not seeking solutions from depressed people. That's the mistake here. They need resources. They need to know that there are mental health professionals out there.
You know, real quickly, Doctor, it sounds like investigators are looking at the possibility that there was some kind of suicide pact between these kids, because we showed the picture of Natasha Randall when she killed herself, the 17-year-old. Just within a couple of days, 2 of her friends actually attempted to do the same thing. Does that happen on there, a suicide pact?
It's very troubling because the internet is a new kind of tool that can be very powerful, but it also can be misused. There's this sense of romance and there's this sense of recognition after you're dead by people putting up these kind of memorials to people once they're dead. As a young person, we certainly want recognition, but we want recognition for them when they're alive. We want them to seek their goals where they can achieve positive attention and recognition, not when they're deceased.
One thing we should point out, too, is the parents all said in these cases that they had no idea what their kids were doing on these websites. It was just heartbreaking. One of the parents said, "I've lost my son, and it is, quote, the worst nightmare." Dr. Buzz von Ornsteiner, thanks, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.